Welcome back to my channel. My name is Zanelle if you're new here. Today, I am going to be doing a video on the diets I have tried ever since becoming hypothyroid, which means I had my thyroid removed in 2017. So I've had no thyroid, which means I'm low thyroid. I'm excited to be doing this video because food is everything for me. I'm a public health major and nutrition was my favorite course. As well as the reason why I'm doing this video is because someone left in my comments that they would like to see what diet I follow. And I was so excited because I don't get comments. I don't get people interacting in my pages. I need to do a disclaimer, of course, because I am no doctor. I do not have any kind of background of that sort. However, I love nutrition. These are just things I've picked up along the way and things I've got from doctors, either videos I've watched, and I can leave links below on the favorite videos I like to watch when it comes to food, plus advice that I have received from my own doctors. Keep in mind that there is no one-size-fits-all diet. Everybody's so different. We're all so special in our own unique ways. It's just to share my story, and if it helps anyone out there to kind of see the journey that I've went through along these years. Let's get right into it. In order, the diets that I have gone through in the last few years. The first diet was a keto diet. I started in 2017 for about 2 years, which led me going back into the standard American diet for about another year or so. And then now the anti-inflammatory and elimination diet. We'll go in order and I will describe what types of foods you can and cannot eat in these diets and maybe some benefits and things that did not work for me in these diets as well. Diet number 1 was the keto diet. 2017, when I first became hypothyroid and I had my thyroid removed, I was struggling so much with fatigue. I was literally tired all the time. And for a young person, that's really rare. You should not be tired all the time. It didn't matter how I slept. I can't say how I ate because that was one of my issues, but it didn't matter how I slept or what I did, if I had caffeine or not. I was just tired. And another thing, I had brain fog. I would forget things all the time. Just very, I don't know if you've heard of pregnancy brain. Since I've been pregnant, I know what that feels like. I had that too. There's that brain fog, you just can't think clearly. So fatigue, brain fog were my main issues, I would say. Oh, weight gain. Weight gain was a big one. They say when someone gets their thyroid removed, about 30 to 40% of the people gain weight and they have a hard time losing it because your thyroid is technically your metabolism. It's very important for your metabolism. So you really have to start watching what you're eating and to get the metabolism going again. And you just can't eat the same, to be honest. But let me tell you about the keto diet. Videos out there about the keto diet. I'm not going to get into super detail because I can if you would like, but there are so many videos. The first ones that I started watching were Dr. Berg, but there were not that many keto videos when I started in 2017. Now there are a million out there. You can really find a lot of information if you're looking for a specific question. But in general, keto is a diet, a very low carb diet. It depends on your body as well, but anywhere from 50 to less grams a day. So some people try to say from 20 to 50 grams a day. If you could do 0, props to you. You'd be doing the carnivore diet. But your goal is to stay around, I would say 50 calories. That everybody's body is different. But with keto, the main goal is to be in ketosis. Ketosis means that instead of your typical standard American diet where you're running on carbs, on sugar for fuel, the body runs on fat for fuel. And there are a lot of important things to this. So you have more energy, stay fuller longer, brain is more efficient, which is a lot better, eliminating that brain fog. To tell if you're in ketosis, there are blood test strips you can do. There are the pee test strips, which are not as accurate. The blood test is for sure the most accurate. Those were the main things why I did keto. I did it mainly for the fatigue, the brain fog, and the weight loss was a plus. You can experience weight loss. You might not. It depends. Foods you're allowed to eat on the keto diet are pretty much your proteins. So all your meats, your fats, which are all your oils, your butter. Keep in mind if you want to do healthy, you want to do good oil. So you want to do the avocado oil, the coconut oil, the butter. Yes, butter is good for you. So the butter, the tallows, which are fats of, say, beef, the fat of a pig, after you cook the bacon, duck fat, all that stuff. You are allowed vegetables, but more lower starchy vegetables. So asparagus, broccoli, cabbage, things of that sort. And fruits in moderation. And if you're eating fruits, you want to make sure you're eating low glycemic foods. So fruits that are more sour and bitter, that have less sugar, such as strawberries, raspberries, blueberries. Those are the most of the foods that you would be eating. Foods you want to avoid on the keto diet are pretty much all the junk, all the processed food like chips, candy, pastas, like your refined grains, like pasta, white bread, even whole grain, just flour in general. Those have a lot of carbs, or like even legumes like beans, rice, that has a lot of carbs as well. Goal remember is to stay low carb, very low carb, and just kind of find dishes that work. And what works best is usually like a piece of protein with a low starchy vegetable and adding good fats in there. Your macros is fat, protein, and carbs, versus a normal macro would be probably protein, carbs, and fats. That's how it would normally be. After the keto diet, and I would say after, because I got into this loophole. I did keto for about 2 years, as mentioned earlier. What happened was that keto started picking up. It started becoming more popular, and I would get all excited because when I would go to the store, I'd see a keto product. Chocolate bars that are labeled keto, low carb, tortillas that are labeled low carb. I got all excited to start buying all these products. What happens with these products, they're made out of different ingredients that are really not good for you. That kicked me off ketosis, and I just spiraled out of control. COVID happened, we were locked down. I went through this like almost depression. I don't like to use the word depression, depressive moments. I was definitely in my low. And I started just eating bad. Not good at all. And I'm gonna call your standard American diet because some meals weren't bad per se, but they were definitely processed. They weren't bad as in like I'm eating a bag of chips, ice cream, which I was, but not all my meals were like that. Some meals were your standard American diet. You see the food pyramid and the standard American diet? I'm gonna pull it up right here. For your standard food pyramid, which is what we were taught our whole life, at least my life, you have your breads and carbs and pastas and rice and grains, all that stuff down here. And you have vegetables and fruits, and then you have your dairy, and then you have your meats, and then you have your oils, right? Well, that pyramid is how I was eating. I was eating like a pasta, which, like I said, it doesn't sound unhealthy, right? It's just regular pasta. I would do like a sauce, even if it was homemade, a sauce with some chicken or something. My problem was I was overeating it, and it just spiraled. I just blew up. I gained so much weight. I did eating normal for about a year. My normal, that is your standard diet. I was eating sandwiches all the time, just regular bread sandwich, your cheap artigiano bread. Oh my God, I love artigiano. It's so soft and fluffy. I would eat that bread, a peanut butter and jelly, which was like a normal like Skippy peanut butter. It weren't great options. I wasn't reading the ingredients, and I blew up. I put on so much weight. I'm gonna say I put on 40 to 50 pounds in 1 year. So that was like my really bad year. Did I put on weight? But my husband did as well. We were just eating the same foods. It's what I would cook. A lot of pastas, sandwiches, things of that sort. A lot of breads. I'm going to say a lot of breads and grains for sure. And then from then, we decided we need to make a change. We can't live our life like this. I value my health. And my main goal at this point was like, I want to lose weight to feel good, because I had my son at the time. And my daughter wasn't born yet. And I was like, I want to feel good. I really want to be able to chase my son around and not get tired. And it's more, I have to find a reason. I have to find a reason that's important to you, why you want to change it. For me, it's my family. I want to have the energy to be able to do things with them. And I was like, I can't live like this. Like, I need to make a change now. So we found a holistic doctor. We're like, something out of the ordinary. We had normally gone to regular doctors. So we found a holistic doctor, which holistic doctors typically want to get to the root cause, and when they want to fix the issue, and usually it's with your diet and your lifestyle, because that's normally what causes issues. It's your lifestyle. The doctor put us both in an elimination diet. My husband's concern was more like he had bloating, he had skin issues like psoriasis and eczema, and mine was more how to get my thyroid to an optimal health. We both started the elimination diet, and the elimination diet consisted of eliminating all the high allergic inflammatory foods. So things people would normally be allergic to. And you would hear these things like in schools, like schools for little kids. There's certain things you're not allowed to take sometimes because someone could be highly allergic. There are about 7 or 8 foods. One is gluten, corn, dairy, soy, eggs as well. Those were the 8 food groups that we eliminated. And from then on, you would eliminate these food groups. He told us for about 2 months. And then you slowly start bringing things back in that upset your gut. At the same time, you do want to do things to help reset and heal your gut, because the whole point is to heal your gut. Out of all 3 diets that have led me till this day, what I have learned after all these years experimenting with different foods, different diets, ever since becoming hypothyroid, I have learned that I do a lot better in a low carb diet. That is more like the keto diet. I really did thrive on the keto diet. I'm not gonna lie. I did thrive. I really enjoyed how I felt. I had energy. The main thing was like I felt full all the time. It was really satisfying eating that high protein, the higher fat. It is goal to have a good amount of protein and a good amount of fat so you can stay fuller longer. And the low carb means less sugar. And I really like how I feel not eating so much sugar, not so many carbs. When I do eat sugar, when I do eat carbs, that's when I tend to spiral and I crave more and I don't get full as long. For sure, it's that low carb for me, the higher fat, higher protein, staying away from sugary products. That I personally like to eat 2 meals a day. I can snack more, of course, and I can eat more, but I feel better when I eat 2 meals a day. My weight stays stable when I eat 2 meals a day. And with me, it's the fasting. I've incorporated fasting ever since I started keto, and fasting really does a whole lot for me. And it's being more mindful about my eating, and I noticed I was like snacking too much. I noticed before my surgery, I was a big snacker and I would be very late at night, and I would have a lot of binging tendencies at night because I wouldn't eat well during the day. So at night, I wouldn't eat all the things. But with fasting, that really closes my window. I tell myself like, nope, your window's done, don't eat it. And it just makes it a lot easier for me to not mindlessly snack. So for sure, fasting, and that's the two meals a day, they just work perfect for me. I can tolerate carbs, and I do enjoy eating carbs, but I notice when I eat carbs, they have to be good quality carbs. And by quality, I just mean real food. Your sweet potato, the cassava flour, the beans, the rice, I can tolerate, I really can. So they don't fill me up as much. If I do eat carbs, I never eat them naked. I always make sure I eat them with some kind of protein, some kind of fat, and I just keep in mind how many calories I'm eating. Estimate, right? A little mindful, because when you cook with oil, it has a lot more calories. It's like a tablespoon of oil, 100 calories. You have to be really mindful that you're adding these additional calories, because it can be really easy to overeat and eat too many calories. So just be mindful about that. And the portions might be a little smaller than a bigger dish. I know some people like a volume of food, so they'll do like a lot of food but very low in the oil, and that doesn't work for me. I personally like a smaller meal but very calorie dense, and in calories I want good calories. I want like a high fat and the high protein, and that's what really fills me up. That's what makes me happy, and I don't notice my blood sugar rising up. Definitely try what works for you, but for me it's a smaller meal with more fat and more protein. So something I like to do is I don't limit myself from like eating tacos. I love eating tacos. I actually think it's a really great balanced meal. I used to eat 3, 4, 5 maybe tortillas. Now I'll do two tops, even one taco, but I make sure I am adding a lot of avocado, I'm adding a lot of meat, and it's just like one fat taco. Or if I'm eating a bean bowl, oh, I love rice and bean bowls, but I now do half of the rice, half of the beans, and I make sure I'm adding more of the meat. And I always try to add either avocado or a drizzle of olive oil, something of that sort. You know, if I'm cooking the meat, I'm making sure I'm adding a lot of avocado oil or olive oil to make sure I get full. And just being mindful that's a lot of calories there. So my portion is going to be smaller. I've also learned that I do not do well with gluten. I never knew I had a gluten tolerance until I eliminated the gluten and brought it back. And I was like, whoa, why am I bloated? Why am I feeling all these things? One thing that can help if you don't want to eliminate gluten is adding a digestive enzyme. I can link the one I take. This has really helped myself and my husband, because a lot of us are really just missing some of that enzyme to help break down that food. Enzymes are great. Any nutritionist will probably recommend them for anyone. You don't have to have digestive issues necessarily. It just helps break down the food, and it helps break down the higher fibery, harder to digest foods like your dairies, your beans, and things of that sort. So overall, just like a recap, overall what works for me as of now and what I am doing today is I try to stick with a lower carb. I tried to add my healthy fats. I tried to hit my protein. I'm not like, oh my gosh, my protein goal. I don't track my macros every day, but I do sometimes, especially when eating a new food, just to kind of see how many calories, and you'd be surprised. You'd be surprised how many calories certain foods are. But I like to just see on MyFitnessPal, it's free, so I just insert it and see like, whoa, this is kind of how I'm eating. Sometimes when I track and I'm like, whoa, I'm literally eating like a big old bodybuilder. I'm eating like 4,000 calories a day. You'd be surprised. You'd be surprised. Sometimes I do track just to see, make sure I don't go over too much, because I am still struggling with my weight to this day. Ever since I had my baby, my weight has been stalling, and it's because I know my food. I'm just overeating. So that's my issue now. You can be eating all the right foods, but if you just eat way too much for your body, you're not going to lose weight. I know that's what my issue is now, and I do really have to work on my portions and just how much I eat. One of my favorite meals for breakfast would be just eggs and bacon, add an avocado. Really just simple. And I really like to start my day off with a low carb, and if I want to eat carbs for lunch, I will, since I do my 2 meals. That's like perfect. So I'll do my low carb breakfast, and then for lunch I will have my starchier, higher carb meal, which would be like a rice bowl for me. I really like just rice, beans, and like chicken. That's my favorite, or tacos. That's for sure my safe food. It's just quick and easy. You can prepare ahead of time. You can eat it really anywhere on the go. That's my favorite. You can top it with any toppings, whether you want to add dairy or not. If you want to add dairy, you got your cheese, sour cream. If you don't want to, it still tastes fine. Throw in some salsa, throw in some lemon, and call it a day. That's where I'm at right now with my thyroid, and there are so many supporting supplements that I do take as well, so I will make another video on that. Hopefully this can help someone out, guide you a way to go, because a lot of thyroid people do have issues with their food. And a lot of thyroid, let me point that, and I guess I never pointed that out. A lot of people that don't have a thyroid or have thyroid issues do have gluten intolerances. That is very common, very, very common. So you will hear like Hashimotos, Graves' disease. A lot of these people with these issues do have gluten intolerances as well. Keep that in mind. And the whole goal is just to heal yourself and heal the gut so you don't have intolerance forever. It's not like, oh my God, stop eating it forever. It's no, we're gonna get rid of it for now, fix the issue, which is most likely the gut, the supporting organs, add some supplements to your diet, and just start eating the right foods that make you feel better at the end of the day. But I hope that helps somebody out, and hope you'll have a great day, and I'll see you next video. Bye.